One, two, three, Marine Corps. I won't go anywhere the Marine Corps go. One, two, three, four, five. Once the Marine Corps caught a fish alive. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. We're going 38 years into the past. We're going to 1987, a year of great movies. Lethal Weapon, Predator. First time ever though watching Full Metal Jacket. And you know what? Mixed reviews. I think a lot of people love this movie here. I think in terms of a movie that to showcase the Vietnam War, it's definitely one of the best. But then saying that, I've not really watched a lot of movies that have showcased the Vietnam War. But then again, saying that, I think the best thing about this movie is genuinely the first 40 minutes where we see our group of soldiers trying to become the best, trying to become the best Marines. And we see them go from absolute nobodies. The movie, of course, begins with a montage of all these young kids getting their heads shaved, their numbers were drawn, they're going to Vietnam. And obviously, if you love your hair, I mean, this would be a tragic scene for you. But you know what? You're joining the Marines, man. I honestly, I think getting a 1 all over is a pretty refreshing thing, especially when you've got the ability to grow it back. Now, if you don't, that might be a whole different, kettle of fish. But of course, this movie stars Matthew Modine, Arlie Emery, Vincent D'Onofrio, Adam Baldwin, Dorian Harewood, and Aries Howard, among others. But obviously, Vincent D'Onofrio, he is, of course, Big Fisk in Daredevil, which we're currently reviewing. Especially, we're reviewing now Born Again, Daredevil Born Again. So that's a real laugh. Make sure to check out those reviews. But like I say, I mean, the movie begins. What I like, the fact is, we did have a real drill sergeant here actually doing this. Now, it turned out they wanted an actor to learn for this drill sergeant, but they realised, you know what, how about we just do this? But Joker receives his name after interrupting Hartman's introductory speech with an impression of John Wayne. And you know what, it's funny. And I get why drill sergeants are like this, right? You need to train these men. But it's like, you see, you know what I mean? Like you see these recruits get trained, right? And I get it is very realistic, this. But you see these recruits get trained, right? And then it's like, in the actual war, when they're like talking with each other, like the seriousness does get dropped. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. I get why they are trained like this, and he's speaking to them, and throughout this like 40-minute sequence, there's like bits where guys start laughing at some of the stuff he said and all that stuff. Which, I mean, here, some of it was funny, you know what I mean? It was very funny. The bit where he finds the jelly donut, and one of the privates, "Oh, what are you doing in there? You're gonna do all those fucking push-ups while you're eating a fucking jelly donut, you fat bastard." "Yeah, you fat bastard, you pig. You should keep eating that donut." But during the boot camp, Hartman, he names Joker as the squad leader. He puts him in charge of helping Pyle, but Pyle cannot improve. Hartman then notices that his footlocker's unlocked one night. He's like, "You bastard!" That was the jelly donut. But Pyle is just useless. He's scared of heights. He's scared of all this. But the one thing that he's good with is firing a gun. He's good at shooting. He's like, "Well, looks like we found something your worthless ass Pyle is good at. Good shooting, soldier," and all that good stuff. But then, like, later that night, we've got Joker, who's on fire watch duty. He goes into the bathroom and discovers Pyle loading his service rifle rifle. Got there in the end with live ammunition. He then starts loudly reciting the rifleman's creed. Hartman is then awoken. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, Sergeant Pyle?" He's like, "Give me the fucking rifle." But then Pyle just blows a hole through Hartman's chest. I mean, it was an M1 Garand to the chest. It wasn't exactly. You would be mistaken to think that Hartman had been shot with a fucking rocket launcher with the amount of blood that sprayed everywhere here. But then Joker's kind of thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Pyle then turns the gun on himself, and probably one of the most iconic, images, I would say, of suicide, self-deletion in movie history, I would say, right here. Following Hartman's death, we are now in January 1968. Joker is a sergeant. He's based in Da Nang for the newspaper Stars and Stripe.
He's alongside his colleague, Private First Class Rafferman. But what I don't get about this, right, is like, Joker is wearing like, you know, like peace signs and all this stuff, and it's like, you're in fucking Vietnam, son. Don't really get this guy. He reunites a few members of his crew. He arrives in Phu Bai, and he reunites with Cowboy. You know, you see a bunch of civilians getting massacred, and I mean, Vietnam was a weird war where it was kind of based on the amount of kills you got, whether who won the war. I wonder why the Americans did that. So a lot of civilians did, sadly, kill. He got the Born to Kill on his helmet. Now, Touchdown, Chowinski, and a few other fellow Marines are killed during the Battle of Huey. A booby trap then kills the squad leader, Crazy Earl. They come lost in the city. They then get ambushed by a Viet Cong sniper. A few other members are killed. Cowboy gets killed in the process as well. So it just shows you, I mean, it's not just a piece of piss, this war stuff. Like, you are good chance of getting killed. And it turns out that the sniper here is a teenage girl, and of course, you know, like the Viet Cong, the Vietnamese, I mean, they fucking battered the Americans, man, without real prop. I mean, it just shows you, in your own backyard, you can use it to your advantage. You can get the job done, and they did, but she eventually dies after killing a few, you know, the crew, and then essentially Joker at the end, he's the one to kill her, and they sing their wee song, Joker gives a wee narration, and that's the end of the movie, guys. That is Full Metal Jacket. I mean, I really enjoyed like the first 40 minutes, but I don't know, I feel like the last like hour of the movie with them in Vietnam, it kind of just felt like all over the place, and there was like a real lack of structure. But maybe that's to, you know, summarise and, you know, mirror the actual Vietnam War, where they weren't structured and they got battered. But of course, I mean, that's probably a debate that's not going to happen on this channel anyway. Have to rate it out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's a good movie. I really enjoyed the start. There are some really iconic moments in it, but I think the structure of the movie lets it down.